Okay, so I'm going to be using some designer series paper from the Bird Ballard suite, and this is a scrap that I've got, and I want the machine to scan and cut not only the birds that are full size, but the birds that are chopped off on the edges of the paper, if that makes sense. So I am loading the paper into the machine and I'm using the direct cut facility, and I am just going to wait for the scan and cut to recognise my images. Okay, that's scanned now, and I'm just going to isolate the area using the red drag handles. It's a fairly dark day today and I've got this on black and white scan even though the images are in colour. And for some reason the machine doesn't seem to want to recognise it, so I'm going to move the design on my mat and try again. So I'm moving the design to a different part of the mat. I'm choosing Scan Direct Cut. I'm changing the colour recognition to colour from black and white. And I'm just going to scan the images again. So I've got my scanned images on screen. I'm going to bring in the red drag handles to isolate the area that I want. I'm going to say OK. Let the machine recognise the images. That's all done now. I'm going to go into Ignore Object Size and take the size up to about 3/4 of an inch, just so that the scan doesn't pick up any stray bits of markings that's on this designer series paper. I'm going to say OK, wait for it to process. I'm just going to go back and go into add an outline of 0.04 because I forgot to do that. Just adjusting my drag handles a little bit more. Say OK and cut. And I will wait for the machine to cut out the designs for me and then I'll be back. So I've got all my birds cut out, as you can see here, and I've repeated the process using some more of the designer series paper that's in the Bird Ballard suite, but this time with the flowers on, which if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you'll see I've cut out these flower designs before. So I'm gathering all my elements together, and then the next thing I'm going to do is make a frame. So I'm going to go into the basic shapes, I'm going to find a rectangle, I'm going to untick maintain aspect ratio, and I'm going to make the rectangle 4 inches wide and 3 inches high. I'm going to say I want 2 of those and OK, and then one of them I'm going to go back into the editing icons and I'm going to resize to 3 1/4 wide by 2 1/4 high. I'm going to put one box on top of the other. I'm going to say OK. Then I'm going to choose the 3 red boxes. I'm choosing the box on the right hand side which selects them both. I'm going to align them both centrally on the horizontal and vertical and say OK and OK again. I'm positioning the shapes in the top left hand corner of the screen and I'm going to load my mat up with some thick Whisper White, which I'm also placing in the top left hand corner of the mat, and then I'm going to cut the design. Okay, so that's finished cutting. I'm just going to remove the waste and then I will show you how I'm going to put this card together. So for my first card I wanted to use a pool party background, but when I put the frame against it and the birds it looked a bit plain. So I've cut a piece of designer series paper which is 5 1/4 by 3 1/2, and I'm using 2 sizes of dimensionals and some wet glue. I've got A4 card which I've cut in half down the middle on the short side, I'm going to stick this designer series paper, which is also from the Bird Ballard suite. You can see here the other design on this side. I'm going to glue this down with my multi-purpose wet glue. Then I'm going to put the frame on it and start arranging my cut-out birds and flowers. And I'll probably be using a mixture of sticking them down flat and sticking them down on dimensionals. Okay, so I'm just removing the dimensionals off the back of the frame, and I'm going to stick this down centrally on top of the designer series paper. I'm now going to start arranging my cut-out birds and flowers, and the ones that are not a full body I'm going to line up to the edge of the frame. Some of these I'm going to stick down flat and some I'm going to stick down on dimensionals, so I may speed this process up so you don't have to sit and watch me gluing and sticking. Okay, so that's everything stuck in place. I'm now going to get my shimmer mist that I made in a recent video. If you have a look on my YouTube channel, you'll see how I did this. I'm going to spritz it into the air and I'm going to catch the shimmer mist on my card, and it will just give it a nice kind of glistening shimmer. You may not see this, but I'll hold it up to the camera. But I thought it needed a bit of extra bling, so I'm going to add some rhinestones. I was going to use the coloured dots, but then I changed my mind. So I'm using the basic rhinestones, and I'm going to add one into the centre of each of the flowers. Okay, so here's the finished card. Not sure whether you're going to see the shimmer spray, but you should be able to see the rhinestones in the centre of the flowers. And now I'll show you the alternative card I did using the base in Calypso Coral. So 2 cards made with the same design. One base card is Pool Party, one base card is Calypso Coral, and all the elements were cut using the ScanNCut. So the designer series paper from the Bird Ballard suite, along with the flowers and a frame that I made from basic shapes. So I hope you like the video. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't already do so. Hit the bell notification icon so you'll get notified when I upload, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.